Hello, everybody. How are we doing? Let me turn on the Vapo Beats. Thank you, Johnny Viral. And no, I'm not changing the LA thing now because I at this point I find it funny. At this point, it's a running bit for me. All right, sorry. I need to get Lady a treat. Apparently. Hello, hello. Was LA traffic bad? I haven't been there in a month. The LA thing from when I was on the ground in the LA the thing I did in LA, that thing. Hey there. My hair is a mess today. I'm a mess today. I don't know how long this stream is gonna go, if I'm being honest. I'm not feeling great, but I do need to. Sorry, give me 1 second. Sorry. Mic is still set up from yesterday. Is it not the fucking right mic? It might not be. No, it should be. It shouldn't be quite, like, at all. Awesome, Stella, that might be on your end. Alright, give me 1 second. I need to blow my nose, too. Alrighty. Yeah, so cat update. I'm looking at cat right now. She is gumming some food down because she don't got no teeth no more. And yeah, my allergies have been kicking my ass. I got terrible sleep because of the cat. I've been go today, yet I feel like I haven't really done anything, which is always very frustrating. But yeah, I took the cat out to the vet. She got her surgery done. She is incredibly high right now. But she seems to actually be doing a lot better. They told me I'm not allowed to feed her that much today. Or this afternoon. So I did want to come on, do a short stream, because I still need to beg for money. to help with the cat, because the cat is... putting me another 11... Well... a grand total of, what was it? It was $2,100 or whatever, but I got $900 on a credit, like care credit thing. And so I have $1,100 that I am paying in a bulk sum in a couple days. Which is... Mackenzie L. My cat Lily had his teeth all removed in 22. He's even chunkier now than he was then, and despite having no teeth, still will only eat dry food. She'll eat wet food, and she has prescription wet food, but I think I'm going to start gooping or souping down some of her food. So yeah, if y'all don't mind still donating just a little bit to help offset some of the costs, because amid everything else... God, I'm so congested. Oh, I hate this. Amid everything else, I am also trying to move with my partner to Seattle and upgrade my computer, because I have somebody who's offering to help me very soon with the computer upgrades. But that will also require input on my side. Probably didn't smoke last week. Pollen is coming back. Yeah, pollen is being a real motherfucker. Fighting a Hobbit, thank you very much. Can't give much right now, but have this. Give the brat a pen on my behalf. Do you want to come on to stream? She said no. She doesn't know where she is right now. No, that's not true. She knows where she is. She was very cuddly in the carrier on the ride over. Yeah, what a goofus little chongus bongus this cat is. I am glad, like the anxiety of having to pay money and having to work down the debt. Sorry, give me 1 second. God damn. Okay. Yeah. Oh, sorry to do that right into the fucking mic. That was disgusting. Allergies. Yeah. I don't know what it is. You know what? It's probably that I just walked lady. Like, cause I'm like, what the fuck? I was sitting in here. I was getting ready to stream, and then I walked lady and came back in. And I feel. The allergies this year have been so bad. I've never actually felt like my eyes getting puffy. Like, but I feel like a puffiness around my eyes. It's fucking crazy. I don't know Elephant Graveyard. I will have to listen. I find, because I've listened to, I like some podcasts that have like kept tabs on certain people, like Joe Rogan, and because there's the No Rogan Experience, and then there's what's the one on Russell Brand's? Yeah, I forget what it's called, but I can only take so much of like studying those people. God damn. But yeah, today we are going to be going over just a couple things that I've wanted to talk about just a little bit. Namely having to do with three shitheads who just cannot keep themselves out of fucking the crosshairs of anybody. Yeah, Knowledge Fight is like my go-to, and I feel like it's because I've listened to so much Knowledge Fight that I'm like inoculated against Alex Jones. But yeah, man, Sexpestiny. So I did low-key announce it, and granted, people started reaching out to me, which I do appreciate. Everybody who's reached out to me about Destiny. The deep dive on Destiny is coming. I've had enough people reach out to me that I need to like follow up, do a lot of deep dives. More shit keeps coming out about him talking to underage girls, and I need of course to verify that stuff is real. Unfortunately, to me it just on its face looks like it is. But yeah, so the next deep dive after Brianna Wu is going to be Destiny, and yeah. So my current lineup of projects right now, and it's actually fine because one investigative project just kind of stalled. Like I haven't really made enough progress, and nothing really has. Usually when I kind of put feelers out there, something will fall into my lap, that kind of thing, but nothing has with one of the research projects. The other one is a just embarrassment of researching riches, and after this current video essay I'm doing, the big one I've been working on that I'm hoping to have done optimistically Friday, that's not going to happen most likely by Monday. Gosh, I'm so sorry I'm so sniffly. I'm really trying to work on it. Ugh. Yeah, I've been... Christian Garcia, did you hear that the new Sydney Sweeney movie flopped? What happened to all those hardcore Sydney fans? Yeah, it turns out that Go Woke Go Broke, like, the performative... I keep seeing this shit online. It's mostly because people just share it to dunk on it, but the performative, like... Oh, that's the other fucking thing I wanted to talk about. Tom McDonald has a new song that we all have to come together to imbibe together. Bruce Magson, thank you for $10. I know there's a lot of shit happening right now, but I think it's time we start thinking and prepping for something similar to Occupy Wall Street, but for Silicon Valley, but more effective. The only thing you can really do to help with any Silicon Valley situation is not to occupy it, it's to make that area unoccupiable. Straight up. Comrade Girl, is that Americana film? Yeah, I didn't hear anything about it. I didn't see anything about it. I think it seems like, just at a cursory glance, it seems like, I don't know if it's good. I don't know if it like I literally know nothing about it. I didn't even see like trailers or anything for it. So I think it was just like more of a small studio film than one that is like, ooh, look at this big flop. That being said, I think it does speak to like Sydney Sweeney's weird place as this culture war pawn currently does not translate automatically to like sales of shit. Hey, that's a fun shirt. Yeah, thank you. I got this. This is a color, God, what are they called? Color, what are these shirts called? Color, it's the brand. Cavity Colors, that's what it is. And I got it from a local toy store where the dude was selling them. And I didn't actually buy it. I traded in a whole bunch of shit a couple months ago when I was like just getting rid of a lot of other stuff. And yeah, a couple months ago, traded it in. And he threw this in because I was like, well, that's pretty good. No, it came tie-dyed. I didn't tie-dye it myself. But yeah. Hi, DD. Hi, Anton. I don't know if Sydney Sweeney is a bad actress. Honestly, I haven't seen, like, the most I've seen of her has been in these weird fucking culture war things. And it's, I don't know, as I get older, and I'm not, like, old, but I am older. And so it has gotten to this point where, like, I have now seen from the point of being a minor, being a kid, in the early mid 2000s, seeing the like celebrity, the particularly young female celebrity cycle, how it picks up, how it goes and moves. And when I was a kid, you know, it was Megan Fox, right? It was Jessica Alba, it was Lindsay Lohan, and seeing how the Hollywood system really spat those people up, chewed them up, and spat them out in a lot of cases. It put me off a lot of like interest in celebrity as like a construct. Even though as a kid I had 2 Megan Fox posters on my room, like, you know. But there's something weirder now that I'm an adult, that it's not that like Sydney Sweeney is younger than me, but it is this, I don't know. There's something about the way that specifically younger female celebrities are ogled and surveilled, and like Daphne Keane, who to me is one of the. All right, so here's a weird thing with Dakota Fanning. Dakota Fanning and I are like almost the same age, and so growing up, when I would see Dakota Fanning in a movie, because I was a kid that was like within 1 or 2 years of her, I had a really big crush on Dakota Fanning, because she was like my age, right? And then now I saw her in God, what was it? She was in something that I was like, oh shit. The Equalizer 3 was Dakota Fanning, as a like a side role, and I was like, oh my god, like she's still gorgeous and stuff, you know. And so it's that weird thing of like, that's one example of I can compartmentalize that and be like, yeah, okay, I had this like innocent kid crush on, when I was a kid, on somebody who was also a kid. And it's that weird feeling because like Daphne Keene is somebody as an adult I saw as a child. So in my mind, when you say Daphne Keene, I'm like, oh, that kid from Logan. That was awesome. She's a great child actor. And apparently she's like 18 now, and like I just saw pictures of her in a bikini today on just come across my timeline because the fucking algorithm is just, you know, whatever. It's the one thing I really loathe about the new Twitter algorithm is how it tries to push so much like tabloid sensationalist bullshit. And it just really like I don't know. Yeah, like Fuser J, I still think of her as a child, and like she's not like she is younger than me by like a decade. But she is not like I don't know. It's such a weird thing to see somebody be a child as an actor and then immediately be sexualized, because it's the same thing that happened, and I say this as a Godzilla fan. Like there was a huge, not a huge thing, but there was a thing in the Godzilla community around Millie Bobby Brown because people could not be fucking normal about Millie Bobby Brown, and it drives me up a fucking wall. Maisie Williams too, yeah, Maisie Williams. Especially any young woman who looks like younger than they are, like their proportions are very young, like. Not gross to them as people, just gross to the attitudes and the way people like latch onto that. It's disgusting. It's the Tate was the girl, the OnlyFans girl. Was that Tate? Was that her name? There was the girl that went viral, Lil Tay, that's what it is. I don't know. See, I've always been like terminally boomer pilled, where I've never been into pop culture enough to like know celebrities' names, know what the top 40 hits are, know what the hottest music is. So like Lil Tay and whoever Tate McRae is, same exact space in my brain. Those are names, those are words I've heard at some point, basically. The Lil Tay stuff was all fake. She made millions on OnlyFans. Like, I don't know if it was fake or not. Excuse me, sorry. Remember the countdowns for young celebrities to turn 18? No, people are still doing that shit. That's what I'm saying. Like, people are still fucking doing that shit. Ugh. People don't seem to do that with young male actors, at least not as often. Yeah, I think there is still an element of that. People were pretty weird about Daniel Radcliffe. Ugh. Justin Bieber blow up doll on his 18th birthday. Oh god. Okay, I started off the stream on kind of a rough note. I'm not gonna lie. It's but in a weird way, also fitting because we're talking about Destiny. Who so yeah, I guess I won't talk too much about the Destiny project or whatever the deep dive becomes. Except to say that I've had a lot of people already reach out to me offering to give plenty of receipts from all kinds of different angles. As somebody who is mostly steered as well clear as I can, being also a political streamer and YouTuber, of Destiny, of anything having to do with his weird orbiters, I am, thankfully, up until now, fairly ignorant of anything that doesn't like break through to the mainstream. And oh boy, the shit that's breaking through about that motherfucker now. Yeah, what a fucking piece of shit Like I'm gonna be so real. Like, not only is he, like, not only does he get his research from like Wikipedia, not only, he's just a fucking loser. Like he's just a loser, and I do not see how anybody still fucks with him. Wasn't he like really bad? Oh no, he's worse. He's worse. Like the Zionism and shit is whatever. I've always known him. Of what I've known of him, I've always known Destiny to be like a contrarian first and foremost. Like, so of course he would go with Zionism. It's the stuff that is coming out now about him essentially grooming someone. The alleged Nick Fuentes incident, I don't know. The Nick Fuentes thing, I don't think actually happened. Like, I don't think that's Nick. Like, if it ends up being true, also not surprising, but whatever. I have seen part of the Norm Finkelstein debate. We watched on stream, we watched the one video he did a couple months ago. Yeah, what a psychotic, like, egotistical little worm, man. And it's gonna be a dive. It's gonna be a dive for sure. Because like I've said before, with the deep dives I do, is I want there to be meat on those bones. You know, like I don't just want to do, like, you know, oh, Tucker Carlson is raised a spoiled rich boy, failed upwards, now he's like a blathering sociopath. Like, not, you know, there's a story there, but it's not particularly interesting. Not a lot of ups and downs. And I think also my proximity to people is one thing that I like to be able to leverage. So being able to go into spaces and be like, hey, if anybody wants to talk to me here, do people still think he's a leftist? I literally, okay, so here's the thing. As all this shit is happening, I go look this up, because I spent hours, I spent like 5 hours yesterday just looking for like sound effects and footage for the video I'm working on. And it kind of fucking, I don't know, it put a damper on my like will to keep working for a second. No, see, because like Ben Shapiro's books, like that's a again, that's like well-worn territory. Like there are certain things in leftist spaces that I feel like everybody has made videos on or seen videos on, and I try as much as possible to avoid that kind of thing. Like, it's just Psychosaw, thank you for $4.99. On a scale of 0 to 100, how much sanity have I spared by the fact that I've never bothered to watch or even pay attention to Destiny? So much. So much. So much. Yeah, so here we go. Somebody asking, is Destiny still like a thing? 12 days ago, CNN made a video focusing on how Democratic streamers like Destiny are taking on MAGA and Charlie Kirk. Like, the focus, it's one of those things that I look at the game industry and how the game industry has specialized journalists for a fucking reason. It is because every time a non-game journalist tries to talk about anything in the industry, they sound fucking stupid, because it isn't just like an industry that you can armchair analyze. There is history. There are like major characters and figures and like events and sea changes that are all a part of why companies do things, why games get released, why they don't get released, like all that shit. And so you notice when game companies or when media groups that are not video game focused cover shit, it is very basic, it is very plain, and it doesn't really look into everything else around whatever they're talking about. And that's exactly what I see here, is like, there's no way the person who is like, oh yeah, no, CNN, let's reach out, let's talk about Destiny, is like, hey, it has this fellow kids energy of like, yeah, no, what's big with the kids these days? Streamers, right? And it's like, yeah, they are. Not like, you know, it's kind of just Hassan and a couple other lefty streamers, and then just a wide sea of pieces of shit. I've also, Naomi Francis, I've also only heard about Destiny from the Surfs and FD. It's wild hearing about these people who might as well be man stereotypes who sell themselves as left or liberal. He is long been one of the quote unquote enlightened centrist types, which is just, an enlightened centrist is just somebody who really will believe in whatever is most politically expedient. Does Vosh count? I don't know what the Vosh. I don't know what the fuck Vosh is doing these days. All right, I'm gonna go grab some water real quick, and then we'll crack into some other videos, because we also gotta talk about Asmon and Tectone. And you know what? Actually, we gotta watch the Tom McDonald video, so don't go anywhere. We're gonna watch that first. Okay. The devil is a Democrat. Is Vosh doing what Kyle and Shank did? I haven't heard fucking hide nor hair of Vosh in a minute. Clothes? What the fuck is Vosh talking about clothes for? He's doing his own thing, works with Progressive Victory. He's also big into fashion. Sure, okay. Federal agent. Hello, funny NB person on my computer. Hello, my federal agent. Vosh is just pumping out content. You know, in a weird way, I kind of get it. Where there gets to be a point of content creation where, and it's kind of where I'm at now with these more analytical and experimental essays that I'll be doing moving forward, is that I want to start branching out into stuff that is more me. Like after a while, you do so much of the stuff that people expect you to do, and that for me that includes, and I enjoy like streaming, don't get me wrong. I enjoy streaming, I enjoy making videos, I enjoy doing deep dives and investigations, but it gets into a rhythm that I've never really wanted to be in. like from the beginning of like me doing this channel full time, I've really always wanted to switch things up, always be offering something new, keep people on their toes, keep people entertained while also like teaching new things. And that's why I will do just like random one-off essays, that I will do like movie reviews and stuff, just to kind of like put it a little bit everywhere, so to speak. Yeah. Oh yeah, the FPS series. I actually downloaded some first person shooters. What did I download? I was like, you know what, I'm gonna do another FPS game. Was it World at War? What did I download? There was something I downloaded recently that I was like, yeah. I don't remember. Yeah. Aw, Bordy fan, world's most gorgeous streamer. Thank you so much. Noma Strip and Boulder Boy, thank you both for following. And don't forget, if y'all want to help out with... Where's my cat? All right, I'm going to go show off the high cat really quick before we get started. I'll be right back. Oh, Grey Goblin, have you heard about the new Bubsy game? It might even be good. Don't say that. Here's the thing. There have been 2 new Bubsy games before this one in the last, like, decade. They weren't good. I physically don't think it's possible. Like, straight up, I don't think it's possible. Oh, Lauren, come here, baby. Yeah. Hey, baby. There we go. Yeah. Oh, hello. Oh, hello, hi, cat. Oh, with her little band-aid on. Yeah. There you go, my baby. Okay, she does not want to be around people, I guess. I can't believe they are... Yeah, she's wobbling back to where she was on the couch. I'm sorry, baby. She'll be okay. Psycho Salad, thank you for $4.99. Vosh is a mess, but I will always respect his place in my de-radicalization process. I'm biased, but I understand why his reputation is the way it is. I would hope more people start to feel that way about Destiny, too. So yeah, for those who don't know, Kat just got out of surgery today. She is high as fuck, but she's big chillin'. She just has no teeth, and yeah, Kat has no teeth, and I am about $2,000 in more debt, so I won't be continuing to ask for donos much longer. What I think I may end up doing is, I don't know. I have done a number of charity streams for other people, and so on one hand I feel kind of bad trying to do it for myself, but if I could do a 24-hour charity stream at some point and just raise enough money to like finish paying off my debt so my partner and I can put down a down payment on a place and move to Seattle. I don't know. I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking about doing a subathon, which is something I never really wanted to do. But like, if y'all notice, I've been doing a lot more ads lately. That's because ads pay money. I need the money. If you're sitting there wondering, like, oh, Dead Domain's selling out, it's like, a little bit. Like, if selling out a little bit can help me continue doing the stuff I want to do, which is not like, it is not in a, you know, I guess not in a Vosh way, because I don't know, I'm hearing from everybody else what Vosh is up to, so I can't say for sure myself if that's selling out. But I can say that, like, what I want to do doesn't always pay. I basically broke even for the LA protest trip, and did not break even for the Washington D.C. Trump inauguration trip. And so it's one of those things where like sometimes the costs for these videos and the amount of time I take, it doesn't break the way you would want it to. Like it is not a consistent job at all, which is why I fucking have to ask for money, and that sucks. Thank you very much, El Salve, for $5. Not much for your cap, but it's the least I can do. You're a huge inspiration for neurodivergents like me, and I hope you continue what you do. I'm continuing what I do regardless, but thank you so, so much. And Cyborg Grizzly Games, thank you for $20, celebrating my legal name finally getting changed by spreading love for Ole Miss, for Low Miss. God bless that cat. Thank you so, so much, and congratulations on that. That's awesome. To sell out involve millions if it's not generational wealth. I just don't think it's selling out. Honestly, I kind of agree with that. Like I've had people jump down my throat being like, I can't believe you're taking this ad sponsorship from somebody that has investments in, you know, some overseas company. And I'm like, I like that the money I get from an ad, it can literally be life-changing in the course of a month. Like stacked on top of each other. So anyway. Color gaps? That's so weird. I've seen everyone take... I haven't taken Raid Shadow Legends. So here's the thing. I think I haven't taken Raid Shadow Legends because I can never tell if the company themselves are actually sending me an ad, because I get so fucking many spam emails to my business email that are like, if you just look at the address where they're from, it's like, yeah, we're from Red Bull and we want to give you $10,000 to shill our product or whatever. And then you look and it's, you know, some Eastern European email address and it's like, okay. And I still relatively hold by, like, if I do an ad for something, I want it to be useful or applicable to my audience in some way, which, like, yes, places like Surfshark and like there are and Incogni, like there are issues with data scraping and cybersecurity, but also the reality of modern cybersecurity is that, yo, VPNs are great. You should have a VPN, and if I can get you a discount on that, I'm okay with it. I can live with that. I can live with that. Ooh, I should get a company that makes cat ears to sponsor me. I would love to do one like that. Ostracin, thank you very much for $10 more. Federal Agent, thank you for $2. Capitalism is a shit. Do what you got to do. Thank you. I kind of wish more people would understand that a little bit. Oh man, Monty the Ogre went from playing Halo 3 ODST, listening to some nice smooth jazz, and now you're about to be exposing my ears to straight shit from the ass. Just poop from a butt. I think here's the funnier part is that when you said I've been listening to some smooth jazz, I'm picturing you listening to like I guess who's jazz? I'm thinking of it's not jazz though, it's R&B. Like Barry White, but that's not jazz. Whatever. Thank you if you're listening to actual jazz instead of the soundtrack. You like jazz? Oh. Fake progressive drama slob creators peddle dangerous dropship sex toys. No quality control lithium batteries, mystery plastics in people's bodies. Woof. Kenny G, exactly, yeah. Yeah. Da, 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 da. Da, 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 da. Hell yeah. You pop that on when you're going around New Mombasa? That's gotta hit. Da, 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 da. Jazz and R&B are not the same. That's what I just said. That's what I said. Alrighty, yeah, let's stop procrastinating. Gaming with chatters. That's actually not a bad idea. I've talked to Bugs, my friend Bugs Matrix, about doing some like commander games. Which, like, honestly, I could probably, if I set it up, because my partner just brought her computer out, I could probably set it up so that I have one screen on mine, one screen on hers, and then, yeah. Huh. That could be pretty fun. So yeah, Tom McDonald, look. Conservatives, we've talked a lot about the conservative mania around art and why conservative art is often not very good. It is because they put the message of anything over any kind of expression, creativity, subtext, nuance, subtlety, any synonym for those. They need it to be as blatant and performative as possible. Because if it's not, how else will people know that you're conservative? How else will you trigger all those libs? It is so important. Oh, it's triggering the libs. Like, literally, the way I saw this being shared around, I was like, share this if you want to piss off the left. And it's like, dog. Okay. So, white Canadian rapper. Two things important to remember here. One, white. We have this Yakubian amongst us who is also, probably most importantly, not American. Matthew, thank you for $5. It's only selling out if they censor your content. Yeah, and nobody has. I have been surprised. That's one thing about I think a lot of advertisers who come to me, sincerely, the advertisers who come to me, probably, I don't think, the ad people I work with and email and talk to, I don't think they watch my stuff, but I think they know my just general vibe and tenor. And I've never, I've sent away videos. I'm like, okay, here's the ad integration. Here's where it's going. This is what's going to happen here. And I've sent away, my full video that'll be, the rough draft before I finalize, music and stuff. And I'll get no notes back on it. I'm like, and I'm honestly kind of always surprised. Because I wouldn't change it if somebody asked me. But I know I have done a lot of walking up to lines and not crossing them. I am fully aware of that. Especially when it comes to things that are okay, here's one of the things that have always bothered me. For example, people will talk about how on YouTube, on Twitch, you can't say things like suicide, killed themselves, pedophile. You have to truncate and warp and use this stupid made up lingo and stuff. Sorry, give me 1 second. Lady needs food. Hello, yes. Yes, there you go, baby. Yeah, unalive themselves and all that shit. And I've never understood that because I've never had to do that. I have covered some shit. I've shown some shit on my videos. I have had people, if somebody's saying a slur, that usually gets ad limited, but like videos where I have actually shown uncensored concentration camp footage, uncensored hate crimes, and like court documents about sexual assault, like heavy shit, I still don't get ad limited on them. And I think it's because I do approach it with this very judicious quality to a lot of my work, where I try to present it as documentarian as possible, instead of like I don't treat it with a levity that I don't think is warranted, and I think a lot of the ad response is based on that. The algorithm pick it up. Depends on the game, or it depends on the game. Depends on the video. But yeah. Anyway, let's oh boy. Into the mouth of hell we go. It's so... No.
The propaganda...
No, don't do that. Why? Why are you doing that to me? Why would you do that? What? Why would you restart? Yeah, I love the... Like, again, it's... The George Floyd riots were, what, 5 years ago now? And we're still getting... Like, conservatives can't let anything go, and it bugs the fuck out of me, because I wish libs and Democrats... I mean, I guess libs kind of do. We still have people thinking Covfefe is a great comeback. Yeah, I guess you're right. You're right. 2019. God damn. All right, yeah. It's just so empty. It is quite literally so empty. It is filmed on a... I don't even know if it's a soundstage. It's just a fucking warehouse they found. Isn't Tom Canadian? Tom is absolutely Canadian. This flow fucking sucked. Like, like there's no like mixing it up a little bit. There's no like, oh, I didn't expect that syllable there, that consonant there. It's just, it's so boring. It's so boring. How's this number 7 on music? So here's the thing. The reason why every time you hear one of these conservative songs is that, again, it is so much of modern American conservatism is performance. And this is what I was really trying to get at in the videos I did. If you haven't watched the videos I did with Queen Coke Francis, the things that we kind of talked about between Rush Limbaugh, Bill O'Reilly, Sean Hannity, Glenn Beck, is they really started this performative sub-industry of conservative media where you would be essentially honor bound. Like it was your duty as a conservative, as an American, to go out and buy those books to show, like, and this was, as somebody who watched Glenn Beck in high school in the mid-aughts. First off, Crispy Fried, thank you for 21 months. That was the mode of thinking. It was, we have to go watch Glenn Beck's fucking stage play. We have to go get Sean Hannity's book, because that is somehow a mark against the left. Spending money to make these rich assholes even richer is, that's going to show the left that our ideas are actually super popular because, you know, a retiree bought the latest Bill O'Reilly book on a fucking Costco trip and didn't read past 10 pages. This is something I talk about in the video essay I've been editing together finally, is the idea of identity as consumption. Like, you are defined by the things that you are essentially told define you. And then a lot of American society just goes, because we're used to that idea from birth, essentially. $5 from Moth. Thank you very much. Conservatives don't let anything go because they're the intellectual equivalent of Katamari Damacy. Zero discernment. La 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 la. Fucking, I love me some Katamari Damacy. Ba 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 ba. It's so fucked up to have me be watching Tom McDonald and tell me about Katamari Damacy. It's like here's a plate of shit, but I want you to be thinking about a nice pot roast or a good ribeye. Oh yeah, no. Space age artists, don't forget the bulk buying by orgs and churches to juice the popularity. Yeah, like, well, and I don't know how much that happens with stuff like this, but there is definitely an aspect of that kind of performative buying. When, like, if you ever go to a movie theater and you see, like, okay, there's a new Christian movie come out whenever, they always have a little line at the bottom for group showings, for group discounts or whatever. Go to this website, go call this number, whatever. And it's because they want churches to bring people 10, 20, 30 people at a time. Because it is, again, this performative victim complex that because somebody made something that aligns directly with your worldview, or you are told aligns with your worldview, you are supposed to go out and support it. It's important. It needs your support. And it's just, yeah. Jonathan Black, do not sully the good name of the king of all cosmos. I would never. God Center, thank you for $5. I think I joined at the worst time. My brother watched the F out of Tom McDonald way too much from 07 to 16-ish. Probably still does. Oh my God. That's rough. That's crazy. Once Upon a Katamari looks hype. Once Upon a Katamari, there are like 3 low-key games. I'm not expecting. Somebody asked earlier, what are the games I'm looking forward to this year? Once Upon a Katamari, Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2, and the new Shadow Man. And when I say I'm looking forward to them, I mean I am not holding my breath on them being good, but I am interested to see what they are. What else is there? Metal Gear Solid Delta and Gears of War are kind of the only other things that I'm like, yeah, I'll play that. Silk Song, I don't know. I do not care. I'm sorry. I know everybody's like, oh, a Silk Song, but like you're not gonna get me with the fake Silk Song hype. Oh, Hellraiser Revival, yeah, hell yeah. Ooh, Hellraiser Revival from Saber Interactive. Yes. Saber Interactive, it's not Saber, it's I believe, let me see. Ghost of Yote? Clive Barker has been deeply involved with the game from the very beginning. Inspired by the first 2 Hellraiser movies. Let's go. Let's go. You know what? I'm so ready. Yeah, so I think it's Saber Interactive, but I don't think they're the developer. I think that is the publisher. Boss Team Games. I guess I don't know them, but I am excited about that. All right, I'll be right back. Okay. I thought I liked Erika Ishii. I don't have anything against Erika Ishii. I just didn't care for the first game and didn't play it that much. Do Tom McDonald fans actually like him as a music artist? He's a shit lyricist. His beats are weak. He has no flow. Just empty commodity slot. That's what it is. Like it doesn't, like, you are asking conservatives to know anything about rap. No, they know nothing about rap except that having somebody technically be rapping their opinions back to them gives them the white confidence to be like, yeah, this slaps. Just be like, yeah, actually, this hits. Wow, this flow is so dope. Mansions while they cram us all. It's so fucking funny because I think Alex Jones have been on this tip too lately about like calling like the Trump movement like, oh no, it's the populist movement. Anyway. Wonder if this guy lives in a mansion. I don't know about a mansion, but it isn't fucking like looking at Trump and the just opulent Versailles he's turning the White House and all of its grounds into, and covering everything with this chintzy, tacky ass gold shit, and being like, oh no, it's actually the Democrats they're the rich out of touch ones. Like, fuck off. They want, so they're saying that, okay. So on one hand, they don't want you to have voter ID, so they want everybody to be able to vote and everybody to have their voices heard. And yet, at the same time, he's talking about how they don't want to hear any other voice, any kind of dissension. So, which is it? Tom? Thomas? Also, could you imagine being a white rapper and going with the name Tom? It's like if there was a white rapper named Keith and you kept it as your name. What? It is low key. It is a little bit funny. As somebody who has done like modeling shoots, and as somebody who, like, when you're doing modeling, when you're doing, like, you kind of have to aura farm like a little bit. But it is so funny to see somebody who thinks that they are clearly eating this up in the middle of an empty warehouse aura farming while acting like he's fucking not just cool but like tough and badass. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. That fucking sucked, dude. So, what y'all think? Download on iTunes. Imagine if we got this to #1. Wow. As a... Okay, no, the real brain rot is in the replies. As a Massachusetts native, I so relate, and this is so bold. I freaking love this. Tom is our best import ever. Political refugee. I live in Wa State. We are sick of the BS too. Trust me when I say we are done with the nonsense. Incredible. Incredible. I love how so many people can be like straight white male from Portland, Oregon. First off, honey, with that fucking photo, no, you're not. This is true for the entire West Coast right now. Vote, people. Everyone, change the system with your vote. I love how a lot of people in these major urban centers are like, yeah, I'm a refugee from California, from evil, liberal, demon rat California. It's like, you never stop to think about how, like, in these majority urban centers, you are the minority. When there are a ton of other people around, you're the weird one. You don't stop to think about that? Okay. Okay. That would inspire some reflection on me, but I guess not. Any negative comments? Not that I'm seeing. Yeah, almost like 100% good comments on this. Protect this man. You're a true legend. I'm 59 and love Tom's music. You can't win when you fight the truth. Truth always wins. No, it's the same shit with the Kanye West video. It's like it just became a lightning rod. Oh, they've got to be fucking. I don't know about botting. I don't like to be like, oh well, this is totally botted, because like I get accused of being botted all the fucking time, and like if you look, dog, if y'all think I'm fucking like anytime a Twitter post pops off, it's because I botted it. You think I'm spending money to bot shit on Twitter.com? I don't even pay for a blue subscription. Like, fuck off. Who the fuck said you were botting? Like anytime I've had a video it's usually a post or a retweet that pops off if it's critical of somebody. So like I've had Matt Walsh ones where I'm shitting on TERFs, ones where I'm, the one I think from like a year or so ago where I was like the most bitchless behavior possible about some dude who was fucking freaking out over the ass physics in Stellar Blade. A bunch of people were mad at me over that. Here's the thing. You get into a certain point of your tweet taking off, and when it leaves that zone, you just gotta like, you just have to be like, okay, go with God. You just via con Dios. I cannot control whatever you do or who you like. I had people calling me a trans misogynist, a sexist, a gay man for the most recent tweet I did about panty and stocking. That took off inexplicably. Again, another great example of like, I'm not botting this shit. If you think me quote tweeting a quick joke about panty and fucking stocking and I bought it to get 160 or 110,000 likes or whatever it has, I don't care that much. I'm always surprised. It's never the ones that I want to take off, but whatever. Anyway. All right. So the other thing to think about is, look, Tom McDonald, that's just a little taster. That's just a little to whet your appetite, to whet your palate. Because we have a trifecta of dipshits. Actually, we only really have two more to talk about. Because again, I kind of wanted to keep this stream pretty tight and short. I'm tired. What's my opinion on panty and stocking? I haven't watched it yet. I want to. It sounds fun. But we got to talk about Asmon and Tectone. Two motherfuckers who, yeah, I was clearly botting when I made when I ratioed ContraPoints so bad she logged off Twitter. Which again, another thing I'm clearly fucking joking about that. Contra has a long history of not being able to take pushback for the dumb shit she says, and then like going emo mode for a couple days and then coming back. I'm sure that's what will happen again. Like me commenting a brief little "why are you like this" is not like the amount of people who are in my comments are like, "Oh yeah, great job, really really progressive of you to jump on against a trans woman." And it's like, okay, we can't even criticize people as a joke anymore. Like to some people, it is that serious. I'm like, I can't get on board with that. I'm sorry, I can't. Oh, she'll be back. She'll be back. Absolutely. When I found out Tectone loves Trump, I just felt sick. That just makes sense. That just makes sense to me. Exactly. Kiwi TP, marginalized people can't be wrong or deserve criticism. No, there was somebody who was calling me a trans misogynist because I had picked fights with trans women before. I still have no idea what the fuck they're talking about, unless they're talking about me making a video about public figure Brianna Wu. But like, trans women can be wrong about shit. Just because you're a trans woman doesn't mean you're right about everything, or I have any obligation to agree with you about anything. And that goes for literally any group or identity. Like, just because somebody is black, just because somebody is Asian, just because somebody is a woman or a trans man or whoever, that doesn't mean they are going to be right about everything having to do with that group. And that doesn't mean that I am not allowed to criticize that. Like, Candace Owens is a great fucking example. Candace Owens says some horrendously racist shit. Does it reflect the reality that a lot of black Americans go through? No. As a white person, but the point is, as a white person, I do not necessarily have the same background and knowledge base to recognize that, but I also read. I also have empathy. I also listen to other people's stories and kind of am able to extrapolate from there what is wrong with her worldview and why it's actually reinforcing racism. And it's kind of the same thing with like that criticism that I'm trans misogynistic or transphobic or anything. It's just like, what? No. Like, just because I disagree with somebody doesn't mean I'm as a trans person transphobic. Fucking what? Moss celebrates 2 months. Thank you. Natalie is the cat who stares you in the eye, knocks shit off the shelf, and then runs away. That might be the best summation I've ever heard about of ContraPoints, honestly. Lydian X, thank you for 5 months. Not to detract, but just got back from a 4K screening of Shin Godzilla. It fucking ruled. Thought you would appreciate it. I do appreciate it. I saw that with Koa a little while ago. It was their first Godzilla movie. I got to be there for that. It was very special for me. Any thoughts on Blue Sky temporarily banning Jesse Gender? What did Jesse do? I don't know what Jesse did, I guess. I think Bugs got a temp ban lately too. She wished ill on J.K. Rowling. Felt, yeah. Deep dive on Blair White. See, that's another person that I'm like, Blair White, there's barely anything between those those ears. Like I don't know what people expect me to find. Like, rested on their good work for too long and are unable to meet the moment. I think a lot of creators are like that. I think when you have a lot of people who, it's ironic that Natalie's most enduring like cultural contribution to online discourse is that picture of like, these people don't want power, they want to critique power endlessly, when that is the literal cycle that she herself has become absorbed into doing. And yeah, I think there is a lot of the time when you spend so long critiquing and looking at these structures of power, it is very easy to become disillusioned, especially the deeper you get into theory and the deeper you get into why things are the way they are, and the deeper you look at how entrenched all of these systems that are stacked on top of each other, one after the other, are. because it feels a little bit like, the more you look into it, especially when you have people like Natalie, you have people like Abigail, you have people like Jesse, people like, to a lesser extent, me. You have people who are spending so much of their free time studying all this shit, essentially looking for answers. And when it's kind of like when you begin to understand how all of these pieces fit together, it's kind of like holding a roadmap, right? Like, you begin to understand, even if you don't have a total, no one person has every answer. No one person has a whole lay of the land. You really just have the things that you are able to look at and judge based on the facts given to you that, like, yeah, okay, this actually might help, or this thing is making things worse. And it's kind of like having a map and sitting in the passenger seat of a car and be like, okay, yeah, here's where we need to go. This is the route we need to take to get there. But no matter what you say or do, somebody will always grab the wheel and just shirk it in another direction. And that's kind of the, like, what it can feel like. And I understand, like, that shit gets draining. That's very hard to deal with. Anyway.
The LGB is mostly fine. You're right. Trans is the main issue that people have a problem with. That is the main issue. It's not gay. It's certainly not bi. And it's absolutely...
I think it's funny that he's gonna be like, it's certainly not bi. Has Asmon claimed to be bi in the past? That's such a weird call out. Like, why? Yeah, it's this is what you get when, like, Asmon very clearly spends a lot of time on, like, 4chan, or Kiwi Farms, or wherever dork-ass antisocial losers like him congregate. And the idea he faps to buy porn, I don't want to think of, look, as far as I'm concerned, Asmongold doesn't have genitalia. Okay, it's like Gregor Samsa down there. I don't know what it is, but I imagine some kind of chitinous mass. Some kind of strange vestigial lump. Like if you took a Ken doll and put it in a fire for a couple minutes. That's the only thing, that is the only thing my mind can, like, fill in the blanks with. That's it. That's all I can do. It simply does not track to me that he has ever had sex with anybody. That does not make sense. That is like going outside and saying, "Hey, the sky is green," and I look up and I'm like, "No, it's not. What do you do?" I don't even need to look.
Not lesbians. It's trans. That's where all of the hostility, all of the negativity comes from. Yes, and trans should not be involved with LGBT. There should not be an LGBT. LGBT. It should just be LGB. Trans is how you see yourself. Bisexual, being gay, being a lesbian is how you see other people. Being trans is not a sexuality.
Being trans is not a sexuality? I mean, he's not wrong, because, and this is another thing that I've seen a lot, where a lot of people just, like, there is this kind of, not duality, but there are these just weird radicals about being trans who are like, yeah, well, if you're a trans woman but you still like men, you're just gay. And on the other side, there will be like, oh yeah, you're a trans woman but you call yourself a trans lesbian, you're just a straight man. It's like, fucking, like, you're gonna get this bullshit criticism from literally every side. but this does speak to him very clearly doing his research by listening to total fucking idiots.
All three of the other ones are sexualities. It's that simple. Yeah, trans is a big problem. Well, I don't know about being a big problem. I don't think it's a big problem.
That's what you literally said at the beginning, you fucking idiot.
Trans issues are, they're much more divisive, and they're much more, like, people have, like, much stronger feelings on the trans issues than they do about gay issues or something like that. Obviously, there's some people that don't like any of it, but in a general sense, I think that's what's going on. Are we really backtracking in history? Yeah, clearly that's what's happening.
Clearly that's what Oh, I kind of want to see the rest of that. What the fuck do you mean clearly that's what's happening? I think Asmon is like the Daughters of Dimitrescu, but with roaches. I guess those were flies. I was going to be like, so the Daughters of Dimitrescu, but that was more like a fly bug thing going on. Yeah, less hot too. Less hot. All right, so that's one dumbass thing. Asmon, Tom McDonald. Oh, we got to talk about the Netanyahu advisor pedophile sting that nobody else is talking about. Because that shit is crazy, y'all. Oh, excuse me, sorry. A Zionist pedo say it isn't so? Oh, buddy, it's I say so and worse. Take a seat, young Skywalker. Some Flonase. I just took my sniffle meds, but I will be right back. I'm gonna go take. I have a pill I take too, and that'll help. Be right back. There we go. Thanks, dog.
Opinion. Just keep sucking dick and shutting the fuck up.
All right, so it was a little while ago. I don't remember what channel we watched. Was it MLYP? But they did a great video about this fucking piece of shit who is, by the way, almost assuredly a rapist. We know his dad is, for sure. We know Tectone's dad is a fucking, like, one of the most prolific rapists in U.S. military history. Who he is somehow still, like, he played the victim card on that shit. Jonathan Black, thank you for $10. Israel funded a international blackmail ring using the stigma of pedophilia to exert maximum leverage over world leaders, to include President of the United States, Bill Clinton, among others. Oh, Comrade Girl, I'm pretty sure SA allegations have come out against him. In that video we watched a couple months ago now, he did talk about like how it's stuff that just didn't line up about some of his exes and ex-girlfriends, where they would describe him being forceful and abusive, and then when he would talk about sex on his stream, it would be just the most disgusting porn brained, like, yeah, no, I can't get off if like a bitch isn't choking, like I can't, like just truly deeply horrendous, heinous shit from this little bald thumb motherfucker. Yeah, this is Tectone. Like really a motherfucker. I don't remember if somebody remembers that video we watched. It was a good deep dive into Tectone's like past behaviors though. Like they did some really good investigative work. Yeah, and I think here's the thing. You can tell a lot by somebody, even if they might publicly sublimate their urges or pretend like they do. I've been thinking about this a bit recently with Milo Yiannopoulos, because Milo is somebody who is, like, publicly he will talk about how he's, you know, he's reformed and he's not gay anymore and he's done conversion therapy. And he has all these weird fucking grifts he's running. It's just embarrassing. But then he'll post some, like, the most misogynistic gay man shit ever, of like posting a picture of a viper with its mouth open and being like, yeah, God made vaginas look that way for a reason. It's to warn you off of danger. And it's like the kind of shit that only a catty fucking Perez Hilton ass gay man could come up with. Like, just the weirdest fucking shit. And it's just, you can tell a lot from somebody about how they talk about even people they consider to be lesser. And the way that these troglodytes, the way these absolute fucking marsh ghouls, these grave crawling assholes, the way that they talk about not just women, but in particular sex workers, and demean them and their bodies, it reminds me a lot also of the fresh and fit assholes, who will like, you literally would not have a job or a platform if not for OnlyFans models, if not for the people that you invite onto your show to berate them. Like, not Tectone isn't gay. Milo Yiannopoulos is gay. Sorry. I guess I just said Milo, and if you don't, understandably, if you don't know who Milo Yiannopoulos is, you might be a little bit lost. Myron Gaines got dumped. Damn. Who fork found in kitchen. Shit, that's crazy.
Better yet, I got a genuine statement. Ladies, if you are so much of a pathetic waste of space human being that the only way that you can be successful and make a living for yourself is by degrading yourself, getting naked.
Again, degrading according to who? This is something I talk about a lot, because I have a lot of friends who will kind of push back against me being pro sex work because it's objectification, it's all this stuff. Okay, but what if somebody wants to be doing that? What if that is how they want? What if that is the work or the labor that brings them happiness, fulfillment, joy? Because I've known plenty of people, plenty of sex workers, not for me, but I've known plenty of sex workers who genuinely enjoy that kind of interaction and bringing that pleasure to others and helping others find that kind of expression. And so, like, it always scratches me wrong when I hear this kind of shit, because it's, you are deciding arbitrarily, according to your standards, somebody else's moral value as a person. You are ascribing to them a moral framework that they probably don't agree with, that they probably don't live by, but then you are going to denigrate them based on that. Not based on the things they've done, how it actually affects people's lives. Not based on if they're, you know, like, I don't know, for example, a piece of shit misogynistic Twitch streamer who the only reason he even has a job is because he fucking sits on his fat ass and plays video games to a bunch of other misogynistic thumbs all day. Like, but he wants to talk about other people being wastes of space and being vapid, useless eaters, or whatever the fuck he's getting at here. Yeah, getting naked makes you a bad person is like essentially what he's arguing here.
And charging dudes $5 to come to you, nobody gives a fuck about your political opinions. So stop posting.
This is, by the way, the exact same like logic that says if you work at a McDonald's, you shouldn't get a political opinion. If you don't own a house, you shouldn't be able to vote. Like this kind of thought is just a snowball mental exercise for people to justify why people they already don't like or people they believe are predisposed to being against their material interests shouldn't be taken seriously. Like, of course, this OnlyFans model who is struggling through college, who had to turn to OnlyFans to make money, of course they fucking, like, you shouldn't have to trust them on any political beliefs because they're degenerate OnlyFans models, duh. Like, what the fuck are you talking about, dude? Is he talking about Laura Loomer?
Them and just keep being a whore, because nobody cares. You being a whore on the internet does not give you any credibility in the political space. Nobody gives a fuck about your opinion. Just keep sucking dick and shutting the fuck up. Thank you very much. All right, great. Yeah, these people need to shut the fuck up, man. It's crazy. These people, they pull out their boobs.
Yeah, these people need to shut the fuck up, man. It's crazy. Yeah, I don't know. He sounds like he has a little bit of the same congestion I'm going through. So I won't be too tough on him. But also, you shut the fuck up. What do you do, Tectone, that gives you like? Do you think all those hours grinding Call of Duty on stream make you a fucking expert in global political negotiation? Like what? Where's your fucking alma mater? Where's your fucking PhD in political sciences? Because guess what? I know sex workers who have actual fucking degrees, who are actually legitimately more qualified than you to talk on name a fucking subject. Like Tectone. Unless the subject you're talking about is having a dad who's a rapist and probably being a rapist yourself, I think you are probably the least qualified person in almost any room on any other subject. So maybe just stick to what you fucking know. Or maybe just shut the fuck up entirely. You want to talk about people being fat, useless wastes of space? Maybe don't be one first.
And all of a sudden they think people care about their opinions. It's insane, bro.
I'm sorry. Johnny Viral, I need to correct myself. I was under the impression, I remember this though. I remember this now. I was under the impression he was a COD streamer. That is my bad. I will own up to that mistake. I forgot. He's a gotcha gooner. This almost 40-year-old looking like an Alex Jones Party City costume probably hawks off all day to 2D anime teenagers, wants to call other people degenerates. Say, Tectone. But I never go to cell block 1. I think about that Jordan Peele joke about guys who talk about sex and you can tell they watch weirdly violent porn. I don't know that Jordan Peele joke, but yeah, I fucking actually agree with that. Like because I know exactly what they're talking about. There is this like I don't know. There's definitely a cycle, I think, where men get so into this detached from reality ideal of what porn is, and so that's what they expect, and that's what they fucking like want and force other like partners and people to do, which is so fucking, yeah. I feel like him being a COD streamer would be less humiliating. It sure would. It sure would. All right, so last story I wanted to go over. Asmon is also associated with pedo VTubers. I mean, that's I'm not surprising. I'm not. Yeah, so this happened a couple days ago, and it has been it has been not really talked about much. Cops in Las Vegas have claimed the arrest and detention of the executive director of the Israel Cyber Directorate, Tom Alexandrovich. The Israeli Prime Minister has issued a statement. So, arrested and detained during the 2-week operation, which involved the FBI, Homeland Security, and several other police departments. They revealed late last night it had arrested one of Israel's top cybersecurity officials after he was rounded up with 7 other individuals during an operation targeting child sex predators. So I need to let me simplify that so people, I don't think people are really grasping the gravity of what's happening here. One of the top Israeli cybersecurity specialists, somebody with direct ties to Benjamin Netanyahu, was here in America and was arrested in a deep cover sting operation for trying to fuck children. Now, you might ask, why haven't you heard about this? I'm so glad you asked. Let's go more onto that. We're charged with counts of luring a child with a computer for a sex act. Following the arrest, his LinkedIn profile was deleted. Multiple news outlets have published screenshots of the deleted profile. His last post was regarding the Black Hat 2025 cybersecurity event held in Vegas, which he appeared to have attended. Israeli media outlet Ynet reported on 14th August that Alexandrovich was only briefly detained for questioning. Quote, after his questioning, he returned to his hotel and flew back to Israel 2 days later. Israeli officials downplayed the incident, saying it carried no political implications and was resolved quickly. The reasons for the questioning remain unclear, but may relate to the employee's conduct. Oh shit? Oh no shit? Quote, a state employee who traveled to the U.S. for professional matters was questioned by American authorities during his stay. So that is the line that everybody's being fed now. Quote, an Israeli state employee was questioned by American authorities during his stay. Don't ask about why he was questioned or whatever. Surely this made front page news on the New York Times. No. According to the statement, the employee in question, quote, has taken leave to address the matter until it is clarified. Because he's a fucking nonce. Yeah, no, motherfucker literally said diplomatic immunity and fucking got off. It fucking worked. Unbelievable. This is from Al Jazeera. How was an alleged Israeli child sex predator allowed to leave the U.S.? Interesting. That's a great question. A senior Israeli official was arrested in the U.S. and charged with seeking sexual conduct with a minor, only to be released on bail with no conditions or monitoring, allowing him to flee to Israel. Goodness gracious. Stirring controversy with politicians and social media commentators, accusing the government of interfering with the judicial process to allow him to return home, without facing justice. I'm sure this has nothing to do with these recommended stories. Israel has killed nearly 19,000 children as strikes intensify. Israel attacks displacement shelters to force Palestinians to southern Gaza. Quote, shameful. UN says 383 aid workers killed last year, nearly half in Gaza. On Monday, the U.S. State Department was prompted to weigh in, saying claims that the U.S. government intervened are false. Court records show he was charged with luring or attempting to lure a child online. So he was charged. A felony that carries up to 10 years in jail in a case of conviction. He was released on a $10,000 bond, but no monitoring appeared to take place. A criminal defense lawyer in Nevada told Al Jazeera that the apparent lack of conditions on his release, despite the seriousness, was, quote, fishy. Average Joe gets arrested, he would appear, quote, average Joe gets arrested, he would appear in front of the Justice of the Peace within 24 hours. Justice of the Peace in that county would issue bail conditions, which very typically would include a GPS device, restrictions on movement, not being allowed to leave the state. Quote, so the fact that this individual is not only allowed to leave without an ankle bracelet or a GPS device, not only allowed to leave the state, but leave the country is highly unusual and suspect. The timeline, he was arrested on August 6th. Incident was not made public until more than a week later. A task force of local and federal agents had arrested 8 suspects over 2 weeks. Quote, this operation was conducted as part of the ongoing efforts to reduce violent crime and protect children in our community. According to the police report first obtained by Breaking Point's podcast, the authorities allege that Alexandrovich made sexual contact on 2 online and texting platforms with an undercover agent posing as a 15-year-old girl. The sexual contact included bringing a condom and taking the decoy to Cirque du Soleil. He was arrested as soon as he arrived to meet the decoy. During his interview with law enforcement, he thought the person he was chatting with was 18. Then he repeatedly invoked his flight to Israel, the report says. Quote, stated it was very important to get his numbers for his flight. Stated his flight is on Friday to New York, and then he will fly to Israel. Davies, the lawyer, said the mention of the flight should have given the court additional pause about granting him bail without stringent conditions. The fact that he wants to leave the country should be an aggravating fact to restrict his movement even more, the lawyer says. Yeti Spitty, can rich people go back to snorting coke instead of preying on children? I've got bad news about how rich fuckos like this have always been. Like, we just know more about it now. Like, excuse me, sorry. If you go back and look into any stories of, like, young child actors from 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, nightmare shit. The reason that so many child actors would be burnt out, would be like just absolute fuck-ups the second they turned 18, the second they got around any drugs, is because a lot of them were fucking horribly abused. Like, and then had this world of pressure placed upon them. Like, it's always been like this. And I'm willing to bet a lot of people didn't want this shit to come out. On social media, the case has drawn increased scrutiny, with some likening it to what they see as President Donald Trump's administration burying the files. What are you doing, lady? Why are you down there? What? Yeah, that's your bone. What do you want? Okay. Last week, the government of Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu denied that Alexandrovich was arrested and downplayed the incident. So they denied that he was literally charged. You can't deny that he was arrested. He showed up to a fucking sting. They have the documents. He was literally charged. The FBI sting operation had him chatting with a teenager, what he thought was a teenager, and he brought a condom to meet up with this teenager. And he was stung and charged. And they're just fucking, like, if you ever wanted as clear a look at how the Israeli propaganda machine operates, it's right here. It's right here. Do not believe your lying eyes. A state employee who traveled to the U.S. was questioned by American authorities during his stay. He was not arrested and returned to Israel as scheduled, it said. So if he wasn't arrested, why did they have to pay bail? Why did they have to post bail if he was just free to go? That's generally not how it happens. Maybe that is in fucking Israel. I don't know. With spotlight on the Trump admin, the Justice Department has tried to shift the blame to the local Democrat prosecutor in Clark County. Great. Acting U.S. Attorney Sigal Shada on Monday released a statement. Not federal authorities, quote, is handling the prosecution of the Israeli official. Shortly after the proclamation, he wrote on social media, quote, a liberal district attorney and state court judge in Nevada failed to require an alleged child molester to surrender his passport, which allowed him to flee our country. She added that Attorney General Pam Bondi and Cash Patel are outraged by the incident. Sure, buddy. Sure. Oh, yeah, we're so mad. I don't know why I went kind of Fargo there. Great. Meanwhile, the controversy has brought scrutiny to Chada's record, who has a history of posting bigoted and dehumanizing posts against Palestinians. Wow, who could have seen that coming? In her now deleted personal X account, she referred to Palestinians in Gaza as animals, calling for wiping the territory off the map, and suggested that even the children in the enclave are terrorists. So just a regular old Zionist. I don't fucking, also, I cannot understand how anybody is still being like, yeah, no, Israel, good guys right now. Are you fucking kidding me? Like, listen to the way people in our State Department, or sorry, in our U.S. Attorney's Office are talking, like, quote, the court should be concerned about protecting children in this community and nationwide, so it's highly unusual, again, to allow this person to leave. Can they extradite them? Yes, they can. Will they? I guess that remains to be seen. End quote. They will not. They're not going to. They're not going to. Because the greatest trick that Trump has played on his base, on the country as a whole, is consolidating so much power that they can just do whatever the fuck they want. And granted, this dude wasn't on Trump's dime. but there's still a what's the word? There's still a tit for tat. There's still a pro quo to uphold with Israel. That, like, yeah, a call was made somewhere along the way. We don't want to really mess this up with Netanyahu. We can't really. They let him go. A Israeli government worker who, and by the way, what about those other 8 people? Were they let go? Did they post bond? No. I wonder fucking why. Because it seems like all the other ones were arrested. Seems like all the other pedophiles, so you're telling me that, like, okay, one of them was a mistake? Isn't it more likely that there was something political lubricating the gears here to get this scumfuck out of the country? It's the thing I was talking about. If you haven't watched the most recent episode of the podcast I do with Rosa from Composting, it's hard to even call some of these things conspiracies anymore, because they are so blatant. They are so out in the open. And it's just heartbreaking. Because here's the thing. You think about it, you go back to, for example, go back to Israel. This motherfucker, what's going to stop him from preying on somebody else? If there is not consequences for evil shit, what's to stop evil people? Like, I almost had a, not a breakdown, but I almost had a conniption on a Twitter post because somebody was saying, like, talking about how inhumane incarceral justice is, which I do agree with. That we should have restorative justice. You should have corrective justice. But they were advocating, they were taking the idea that, like, oh, nobody should ever be locked up at all. Like, this person was saying, literally, the person who raped them, somebody in real life, they wouldn't want to face prison time. They wouldn't want to be responsible for somebody else being incarcerated. Which is insane to me. Because if you are not, like what is corrective about that? Like you can look at thievery, you can look at breaking and entering, you can look at Grand Theft Auto, you can look at all of these crimes through a lens of, like, material need, that if those conditions were met, if people weren't so fucking poor, if they were able to actually get a living minimum wage, if they were able to get healthcare, if they were able to get all these things, they wouldn't have to resort to stealing. We know this. Like, this is very evident. But there are crimes that do require you to not be so fucking woke, because guess what? Sometimes people do shit that actually deserves inhuman treatment. I know a lot of people on the left don't like that, don't like to hear that. Like it's okay. In a well-built society, prisons wouldn't exist. Wrong. Like here's the thing. You can sit and say, and this is the thing with all sorts of material conditions and all sorts of like Marxist analysis is like, okay, well, this would be the perfect way to organize society. It's like, yeah, sure. In a world of perfect conditions, you are saying that in a world where everybody has their material needs met, where everybody is able to, like, in a perfect paradise, but you are still dealing with an infinitesimal amount of variables on personal levels, that you have billions of people, millions if you're talking about a smaller country or a society, that you have no idea how they're going to impact one another. You have no idea how personal relationships will go awry. Like, I would love to say there needs to be a distinction between, like, the prison industrial complex, which is fucking terrible, and Yeah, sorry, I'm reading comments now. Dead domain would send people to the wall. I sincerely do not understand how you can be. I don't know if you're an American, but I'm speaking in generality here. I don't understand how you can be an American, understand the relationship between Southern Reconstruction and how the South being allowed to rebuild, being allowed to hold these traitorous people as heroes, being allowed to essentially continue to propagate the shit that led to the Civil War. And you can draw a direct line from that to the issues we're dealing with today. I do not understand how you can have any American can have a grasp on that and then still be like, yeah, well, I think like we should not punish any enemies. I think that we should, like it sounds great on paper. In effect, if there is nothing to stop people from doing something, there are so many people out there who are just going to keep fucking doing it. Like you are watching it happen right now. Prisons are institutions of slavery. Carceral punitive punishment should not exist. Prisons are incompatible with rehabilitative justice. No, the current prison system is incompatible. Structural incentive influences behavior, and that includes negative incentives, consequences on bad behavior. Without those, there would be incentives to do evil. Yeah, like here's the thing. If you are not de-incentivizing things like assault, pedophilia, if there is nothing to stop people from doing it, then people are just going to be like, well, I can do this. What's going to stop me? It's how you get fucking freaks like Jeffrey Epstein and his little black book. Like, I am not saying, and granted, that is a incredibly small portion of the overall prison population, because in America we have deeper problems with the prison system, where you do have maybe one of the most inhumane. There's been a lot of fucked up prison systems. Maybe one of the most inhumane prison systems, where you do have people still serving sentences for like drugs that have been legalized. You have people who will serve sentences for minor infractions just because they did something once, twice, or 3 times. And because they're poor and can't afford their own legal representation, or they aren't able to argue the facts of their case or whatever, and then on the other side you have rich assholes who will, like Jeffrey Epstein and people like Alan Dershowitz, also probably a kid diddler, will just get them off and have them running around free as a fucking bird for the most heinous, unimaginable crimes you can fucking think of. And like, again, I would love to live in the world. Like, I am not saying that you shouldn't aspire to have a better world, but there are these ideas that go around so often of like, oh no, we need to abolish all of this. This needs to be torn down to the ground. And like, yes, I am sure. It's like what I was talking about earlier. Nobody has all the ideas, but I am sure that you have in your head, just like I do, just like everybody does, well, this is the way the system should work. And yeah, that might improve things, but good luck making a system that benefits everybody as much as possible without taking into consideration other people's ideas. Unless you are literally going to kill everybody who disagrees with you, which is not what I am claiming, by the way. That's not what I'm advocating for. MK Ultraviolet Burrowed, in this hypothetical, we're in a communist utopia, people would have no material reason to commit violent acts. On the contrary, they would have all material and personal benefit, personal incentive for mutual benefit. You are not like, again, yes, hypothetically, for the sake of argument, if everybody had their material needs met, you would think, yeah, there's no need for this. But then I ask you, if somebody with all their material needs met, if you have people like Jeffrey Epstein right now, who just, because he has all his material needs met, dude barely fucking worked. Why did he do all the shit he did? Crime is the consequences of the crime of oppressive conditions. When those conditions are removed, the crimes will go away with them. Certain types of crime, certain kinds of violent crime, theft, like certainly, yeah, I'll buy that for $1 for sure. But you are talking about the upper echelons of the most perverse, inhumane creatures to ever walk amongst us in skin suits. We are talking about like Bill Cosby, Harvey Weinstein. Their crimes were not because of oppressive conditions. Their crimes were because they were people who were given power over others, and they used it to hurt people. So there is nothing. Jeffrey Epstein would not exist. He's the epitome of capitalist wealth and government power. Okay, so you think that there is going to be, in a perfect capitalist utopia, that there is no power structure. Their crimes are the oppressive actions. You are assuming that if everybody had their needs met, that everybody would just be good and just and righteous. And that's absolutely not the case. Like, it's just not. No. Like it's also, yeah, people are bringing up, it is like far too reductive to talk about things like that. Why do you guys dislike Asmongold? Pick a reason. Kalippi, thank you very much for following. We need transformative justice. We need, we need less impunitive justice for sure. I also, like, MK Ultravert, here's the thing. I also have an optimistic view of humanity's potential for good. I agree with you on that. People often call me too naive and too optimistic. I've been criticized for this a lot, for giving too much credit and giving too much, what's the word I'm looking for? Not credit, goodwill to people who otherwise should be either ideologically opposed to me or whatever, or I should be ideologically opposed to. The problem is that the problem with all of these hypotheticals, and this is the problem I have with saying, like, well, if we abolish this and we did this, then this would be met and this would be this, is that there are too many fucking variables. Like, if you can write it down easily, you can simplify it. You can have fucking, Marx and Engels, they wrote books, volumes, tomes on this shit. And then, in the 100-year since, there have been any number of philosophers and psychologists and psychiatrists, economists who have delved into this stuff, extrapolated from it new systems, new ideas that work upon all these different other systems and the way that the systems have evolved since that time. That's all well and good. But it is the simple fact that the world is not able to be put into any number of books or pages because there are simply far too many variables. Like, it is not that I don't think humans want to be inherently good. It is not that I think all humans are inherently bad. I think it is a lot of nature and nurture. But you're still going to have, like the amount of butterfly effects that happen on any given day, in any small issue, that just snowball into somebody being mad, somebody being frustrated with something. Like here's the thing. The negative aspects of the human experience, which are important to living life, things like sorrow, fear, frustration, these don't have anything to do with crime. But a lot of times they can snowball into crimes, or if not crimes, simply disagreements, which then go into fights, which then go into vendettas, which then go into, all these other aspects. And even in a perfect world where those material conditions are met, where everybody is able to, and this is the world I would love to have, by the way, where everybody is able to pursue the things they're passionate about, where everyone is able to not have to worry about a roof over their head or medical care for them or their loved ones, where everybody is able to actually feel
equal and that they have an equal opportunity. That is the world I would love to aim for. But that will not stop. Like no amount of good shit is going to stop the negative aspects of the human experience. And I should add, we should not want to file those down. There are parts of living that are worthwhile, even if they imbibe some kind of negativity or negative emotion. I was thinking about this earlier. Loss is one of them. I was just talking to a friend about who had lost their cat. And of course, like today, as I was taking my cat to the vet, she had to go under it. That stressed me out so fucking much. And it's one of those things where it's like, okay, but the love that you get from an animal, that makes that negative emotion worth it in a way. And that's by the way, that's getting a little bit more philosophical, existential, and all that stuff. But that is to say that there is never going to be a perfect life for anybody. And you shouldn't want a perfect, frictionless life. Like and this isn't in a way of like, hey, pain's good, pain keeps going. Like none of that bullshit. I mean this in a way of like, there are things that make us human, and sometimes struggling is part of that. But that is also going to lead to any number of other unknown fucking variables. And it is in those variables that you are never going to be able to predict accurately what the writhing mass of humanity will do. And so, like, the idea of, like, well, this is obviously objectively the best way to organize society, to me, it comes with a billion caveats that I'm like, on paper, yeah, that sounds awesome. I would love that. I would love that. But it's just not realistic. This discussion is not centered on the material question of whether prisons are the best solution to violence. It should be centered on that. It was centered on that. But again, it is a more complicated issue than that. Like, you can't just be like, okay, well, yes, here is this incredibly complex, complicated puzzle box of an issue that you can look at and be like, yes, this is objectively evil. It needs to be replaced with something. It doesn't matter whether crimes will still exist or not. It matters how society responds to it. Okay, but if crime still exists, then yes, and society has no way to respond to it. Then what? Then what? Like, if you are taking away the response to rehabilitation or reformative or restorative justice, locking people in prison is not the only option, and in fact, it's an ineffectual one. I'm saying there are other... Okay, well, what are the other ways? Like, pedophile rapist murder kills his entire family. Do you send him to therapy? He's anything you say for years on years, he says, I'm going to kill again. You let me out, I'm going to kill again. Like, there are some things you cannot rehabilitate. Making sustainability and staying alive universally. Well, we've Yeti Spaghetti, we've already talked about that. Like, I am the reason that we are, I feel like, going in circles here is because I am not talking about why did he commit this crime? Sometimes people just be committing crimes. What is your alternative to prisons in a socialist or communist society? Am I pro-death penalty? It depends. Like, I again, I am not absolutely, there are things I am absolutely in favor of, but like, I am not I feel about the death penalty the same way I feel about the Second Amendment. Is I would love to. If you were to say, hey, tomorrow you can snap your fingers, wake up in a world without guns, let's fucking do it. Like, let's go it. I'm there. I'm with you. If you could snap your fingers and tomorrow I wake up in a world where there's no prison abolition necessary because prisons have already been abolished and restorative and reformative justice systems are in place, like, that's great. But we live in a world where some of the most powerful people hold all the chips, and they are child rapists, pedophiles, genocide enablers, and for the foreseeable future, they will face no actual repercussions for the evil that they have wrought upon countless innocents. And so every single every single person who's following in their line of succession is also going like, well, fuck, I can do this. I can do that too. Yeah, of course I can. Because Trump is doing it. Because Netanyahu is doing it. Because there's no fucking consequences for this political class. Death penalty is too far. Again, you are talking about in the current political climate we have, where you are arguing people like Stephen Miller, people like Trump, the narrative they have been selling and building for years now is that violence is a justifiable political tool. Okay? That death is a justifiable political tool. That not only that, but the Democrats, they want to come after your kids, they want to take your guns, they want to do all this other shit. And you still have so many people who are like, even as they are rampaging over and all the every shred of legality that would prevent them in a functional society, there are still people who are like, yeah, no, we shouldn't kill anybody. Like, we can't kill anybody. Of course, they all want to kill us. And because we put up absolutely no kind of forceful pushback, they have just completely rolled over us. They inch closer every day to a point where they can actually justify on their end, justify imprisoning people. They already are imprisoning random people and civilians. Like, do you think nobody's died at Alligator Alcatraz? Like, that's what you're up against, and people still want to be like, yeah, we can't kill. We can solve all this without force. It's like, no, it's just not. I would love to do that. That's not gonna happen. In the current political environment, before you were talking about a perfect world with these MK Ultra Violet Bird, I was going along with your hypothetical at that point. Now we're talking about the death penalty, not prisons. I guess they're kind of one and the same. Yeah, Zen and Grell still need to build those rehabilitative structures for our own movements and communities internally. I agree with that entirely. It was your hypothetical. We were talking about a perfect communist society. I feel MK Ultra Violet Bird, I feel like we're going in circles, and to nobody's, oh, your boy Max, thank you for 12 months in a row. To nobody's surprise, I think it is like, this is not, you said that before I even chatted on this. That is not what I remember. More than likely not going to have the communist society happen in any of our lifetimes. It's a generational project. Yeah, pump spread, that's the other, like, important thing I think to realize is that, like, famously Rome wasn't built in a day, but there is a much... None of this is stuff that is going to happen overnight, even with a revolution. Like, because you are also talking about, again, going back to those variables, you are taking... If you wanted to, again, have everybody material needs met, even if we figured out the perfect system, had a total way to get all this overhauled, you are talking about a massive de-radicalization project of the entirety of the United States population, who have been, for the last 60 years, 70 years, basically, indoctrinated from the fucking crib against things like just caring about other people. Like, there are so many more complicated problems that need to be tackled first before you can get to, like, hey, maybe we don't need prisons anymore. And I feel like so much of actually finding solutions that will actually help people currently in this time, so many people go this abolitionist route, and I think it allows them to kind of abdicate that responsibility. They're like, well, what's the fucking point? What's the point of going to a DSA meeting if we can't have a communist revolution? It's like, okay, then let's not start anywhere, I guess. Yeah, Liz Galahad, that's a great way to put it. There's no end to potential perfect systems we can add to the perfect system. Some people are thinking about step 2 billion while we are still working on step 4. Yeah, that's what I'm really saying here. Sorry, I'm just catching up on reading chat here. We can have both discussions, but I think many people are misunderstanding the arguments each other are making. I don't think we need a perfect communist society to not have prisons. I just think people have really fucked up hypocritical reviews about revenge. We demand it, but also want impartiality. I mean, like, I'm not saying that we need to have executions for every person. I would love to be in a world without state-funded violence, and, like, I would love to be in a world where cops aren't able to just with impunity murder people. Like, that is not a good society. That's not a fucking functional world that we're living in. But also, like, we're not going to get to that world without violence. Sorry. Have I seen I haven't seen any of the new shit that came out. What was today? There was a and who was talking earlier? Prison abolition is part of step 1. Intersectionality, all of these oppressive structures have to be addressed as a whole. No, like, what? No. Like, there are so many steps before that. You're not viewing in totality, like, okay, yes, prison abolition, great goal. How are you going to accomplish it? Because, again, there are inlaid systems that Americans specifically have been indoctrinated with since the fucking cradle. Like, and you cannot just come into a country that is as deluded, as fucking brainwashed, straight up brainwashed as this one, and be like, hey, just, everything's changing. All the shit that you've been told your entire life was like evil is good now, and that's the way the system's gonna be. And it's like, no. And you're giving them guns? Like, nah. Yeah, we are literally given police toys in the crib. The indoctrination that we go through for the prison industrial complex, for accepting these things, incarceral punishment, like police executions, it comes from the fucking crib. Oh, hi, Ryan. Step one should be police reformation. I would honestly, Awesome Stella, I would say even before that, I mean, like, I think step one should be part of police abolition more than police reformation and community policing. And yeah, Adal, step one is getting critical mass of political power. Yeah. I think Celsius needs this. Oh, I would love it if Celsius sponsored me. Jacob Geller made a really great video about how the Nuremberg trials didn't really enact any real justice and were mostly performative catharsis. I mean, that's because the United States government, like, we shipped over a bunch of Nazi scientists. A bunch of them got away. A bunch of them went into other governments. Like, Nazis... They weren't punished correctly. Awesome Cell, I think we know that. What should replace the police? Community policing. Community action. Actual people who come from your community and know people around you. Like community councils, neighborhood watches. Like, there needs to be some form of people doing jobs like firefighting, in more rare cases like police work, like investigative work. They should not be militarized thugs who can come into any neighborhood, murder and rape and pillage with impunity, and then be hailed as heroes by one half of the political body. Well, all of the political body, not like Democrats did fuck all about defunding. Argentina. Maybe Venezuela too, but Argentina was like the one that people remembered. Cat ear discounts. Oh, thank you just to be here. Yeah, and I hope, MK Ultraviolet Bird, I hope I didn't put you off of watching too much, because I know I've seen you before, I think. And I do welcome these conversations. I do enjoy having people to actually push back, because I think, again, I think it is good to have ideas challenged, both for me and for other people. Andy Dandy's notebook. For we're probably going to need of culture change. Absolutely. No, we need an entire reverse polarity on like massive ideas. that are at the heart of American culture, and some of this also comes up in the video I'm working on, which is why I have such a. If it seems like I went off topic in weird directions, like the things that are just inherent in American society, it's because a lot of that shit I am talking about in my current video, about how much of the history, how much of the stuff we know is just literally fucking propaganda sold to us as nostalgia or Americana or whatever the fuck. And it's just MK Ultraviolet Bird, you did not push me away. No worries. I enjoy having discussions on these topics. Me too. Like, even if, here's the thing, kind of difficult, I do think we shouldn't shy away, because this isn't what I would call a debate, even though it kind of is a debate, but it's not like a, you know, internet blood sports definition of debate where it's like, ooh, yeah, like who's gonna get owned or who's gonna, like, it's actually a more like classical style, quote unquote classical style debate. Yeah, debate is toxic. And like here's the other thing. Talks like this, before there's any communal system, before there's any community outreach, before there's anything, there's gonna be a lot of fucking talks just like this. And it's good to be open to them. Again, this is one of those things where friction, frustration, these inherent elements that just happen because of the vast complex web of human experience. Differences happen, different experiences happen, different frames of reference happen, and so those are going to cause friction. Those are going to cause different ideas to come bubbling to the surface. That's a good thing. That's not something we should shy away from. If there's something we should shy away from, it's closing our ears to those other ideas entirely. Stormy Manor, it's a great thing to have to challenge our thoughts as it helps to strengthen them. We just have to make sure it doesn't turn into infighting that hurts the progress we can make. Not saying anyone did this, just general statement. Yeah. I try to keep people not infighty, I guess. Assertive good faith discussions is the way to go. Yeah. And that's what if you ever hear me even getting a little bit frustrated or heated, if you ever hear me doing that, like, I am still generally trying to have a constructive discussion over this stuff. Yeah, and Fuser Che, it's also complex issues we were trying to talk on stream, which isn't the perfect. There is a there's a disparity, there's a power differential here just by nature of streaming as a medium, where I have the airwaves and I can silence anybody I want, and I rule this stream, and then everybody else is just like kind of here technically by my grace, so to speak. And I don't care to change that. Nobody's being a real dick. I am not threatened by being simply challenged. So, yeah, I always welcome a conversation. Awesome, Stella. Sorry if I was crashing out. I just can't stand it. It seems like someone is putting words into my mouth after making an argument. I don't think anybody was putting words in anybody's mouth. I think that there are, again, there's a lot of like these are complex issues, right? This is why we talk about conspiracy so often, is that conspiracies are simple ways to explain very complicated things for a lot of people. And I think it is good to just contemplate, just think about, just kind of live in and stew and steep in the idea that, like, these issues around us are fucking complicated. And most importantly, we don't have to get to the bottom of everything by ourselves. I think that's a big problem with a lot of people who profess to be like, yes, this is the way to do it, and I will not partner with DSA, I will not partner with anybody else, I will not partner with these people because they do this, and this. And it's like, if we all just continue to fracture and factionalize down to these infinitesimally small little groups where we are just individually isolated, then what are we really trying to do? Like what kind of community are we trying to build? What kind of movement are we trying to invest in? And it just, I don't know, it can be very frustrating to see, especially in leftist spaces, because I see it all the fucking time. And sometimes, look, and I say this with a little bit of facetiousness, because sometimes, hey, I joked on ContraPoints' thing, and then I posted that today about how I got her to delete, which is not what happened, by the way. Again, this is a joke. But I don't think anybody is above criticism, but there is a difference between criticism, discussion, and just like trying to shit on people for whatever. One thing I've been kind of annoyed at lately is so a couple weeks ago, pissed off lawyer Hendricks had a bit of a moment crashing out. I think he would agree with me saying it was a crash out. And people really jumped on the idea that, oh, he's going to turn into a detrans grifter. And I interviewed Hendricks for a piece that is kind of the piece that stalled. I haven't really made a lot of progress on it. But when I actually sat down and talked with this person, the pissed off lawyer, it became very quickly clear to me that this is somebody who does think about the effect they've had on the community, the effect their actions have had, that they might have reacted a little bit too quickly, a little bit too viciously in self-defense. And it's been really frustrating to see somebody who I've talked to one-on-one who is now doing a lot of introspecting, who is now doing a lot of like, is this what I really want? I've been thinking about this a lot. I've been looking at this. I realize that, you know, all these TERFs and all these gender criticals are like trying to use me, and like, who has all of these ideas. Some of them are conflicting. Some of them they're trying to work out. And they continue to get non-stop shit from everybody. And it's just, I just wish more people would give grace. Sometimes, like, granted, there are people that I don't think should be given grace. You know, Asmon, somebody we were talking about earlier. Asmon's a great example where Hassan, God bless him, tried to give Asmon so much grace. I think it was last year or the year before when he did that like video talking to Asmon about the genocide in Gaza after Asmon said some fucking heinous shit about how, yeah, no, they actually, yeah, they deserve to be killed because they're like just dumbass bullshit like that. And I think it's on, like, at a certain point, people aren't always going to be receptive. Some people are going to prove that they don't actually necessarily deserve that goodwill, and that sucks. I hate seeing that. I want to. One of the things I've thought about doing, and I might still do it, is reach out to Destiny's son. Not to talk to him about, you know, whatever piece I'm doing with on his dad, but because so much of the stuff that I saw him talking about on Twitter, for those who don't remember, Destiny, his son, who he's apparently estranged from, is a young teenager who is a fucking groiper. Like straight up calls himself a Nazi. And I'm like, oh geez, where have I heard about the supposed leader of an intellectual movement having a Nazi offspring, and it was because of bad material conditions in his upbringing? MLYP, thank you for being here, by the way. Cash for the cat. Do you hear that, cat? She's so high. Oh my gosh. I just looked around and she's just looking at me like, and all I really want to send him is I just really want to be like, hey, you don't know me. I don't know you. I don't want to talk to you about your dad or anything. But a lot of the stuff that he was talking about, how his parents didn't love him, how he has no friends, about how the internet has raised him, and he's 14 or 15, right? And everything I saw him say, everything I see from this kid who's out here being a Nazi, hating his dad publicly, doing all this shit, it's very obviously like kid has a small platform, is doing this stuff for attention. But it reminded me almost one for one of all the shit that I covered in the Synthetic Man video. And so, granted, it could be an entirely fruitless endeavor. Me reaching out to this kid being like, hey, I don't know you, you don't know me, but you should watch this and do what you can right now to avoid becoming like this, because it's a miserable fucking life ahead of you. Reach out to other people, form those human connections, try and care about others. And granted, maybe that's too naive of me. Maybe just in that I am giving too much grace, too much goodwill. I've been told this many times about, you know, and I think a lot of people see it's bullshit when people are like, oh, dead domain, platforms, Nazis. Why would you do this? Why would you be friends? It's like, I'm not friends with Nazis. I've never been friends with a Nazi. Never would be friends with anybody like that. But I've listened to stories from people who used to call themselves that. And you learn a lot by listening. Again, there's this lack of empathy, this lack of goodwill. And I don't think I want to lose that. I realize we just got done talking about how, you know, how like, hey, we're not going to get to a perfect society without violence. Like we just got done talking about all this stuff. And so, like, obviously there are limits to that goodwill. But I think for myself, if nothing else, I think I need to keep that want to have goodwill for most people. Yeah, and I think Fuserche 15 isn't too late. I mean, who knows? I wouldn't put money on him or for him, but it's not possible. He's a child. Like he's a child. Like it is. If a 15-year-old says to me like Heil Hitler, I'm a Nazi, it's like, okay, yeah, sure you are, buddy. Like just like, you know, when you're a kid, oh yeah, no, I'm seen, I'm emo. It's like you are not always going to be what you are when you're 15. You are still trying to figure stuff out. And I think somebody like that has a lot of stuff they need to figure out. A lot of stuff. And I don't think anything is gained by, you know, there's nothing to be gained. And again, this is me talking from experience of having made a documentary on literally de-radicalizing Nazis. It's not a grift, Mom. I don't even know what everybody is. Okay, here we go. Yeah, his pineal gland is not calcified properly yet. Exactly. Like it's just like I feel it is so much more stupid for all the libs and all the lefties online who are dunking on this child instead of being, again, it's the type of shit that is I don't know, it's almost this libidinal urge to just be like, haha, fuck you, that you see a lot in like when you know, wildfires or floods or wherever break out in the South, and you have these fucking brunch libs who are like, oh, this is what you get for voting for Trump, as people are dying and losing their houses and stuff. And it's like, no, like you have the prime time to reach out and connect with somebody as a human being in the midst of their suffering, in the midst of their genuine emotion, and you are just reaffirming every bad thing they've ever been indoctrinated with. Like, what the fuck is wrong? Doi. Like, God Sinner, thank you very much for $10. Because of many life issues, I can't help with DSA, so I hope this can help you help others. Thank you. From Kara Kel. Thank you, Kara. DAS International and Circular Tile, thank you for following and subscribing. The One Who Reads, thank you for 2 months. Thank you, DD, for showing over and over again the value you provide for our sub dollars. I try. I feel I don't do a lot of value, but I do my best. I feel really really guilty about not providing more value and shit. Awesome Cell, I was almost an incel. Me realizing I was trans was what pushed me away from that, thankfully. Yeah. Tortuga Niv, Hassan called people who were irritating him woke of the day for being woker than him. It's silly. That's kind of funny though. I get that. Like there is a level of it's one of the things I've seen going around lately. And sorry, I was on because I was at the doctor's office for an hour or so today because of the cat. I was scrolling, so a lot of this shit is still fresh in my brain from Twitter. But one thing is the weird way that people are talking about robo slurs, which okay, like they do have a point there with some of them, where some of them are like, okay, no, you clearly when you came up with this robot slur that isn't clanker, you just came up with something that was like very much based on real slurs, but you just put in a robot part in there, and that's like that. Like, come on, I see what you're doing, I know what you're doing. But on the other half, the amount of people who are like, yeah, white people just want to call robots clankers because they just want to say the N-word. It's like, no, there's like, again, there's a deeper issue there with like, I don't think we should be ascribing humanity to these accessories, what are glorified toasters, because I think like it whittles down the ideas of humanity that a capitalist system is constantly trying to take away from you. Like it is constantly through every aspect dehumanizing you as a laborer and a worker, and then to like try and then graft some of the humanity it's taken from you onto these things that do not feel, that do not actually think, that are not human, that are not born, that do not have internal thoughts and logic and creativity and all this shit, is like profane in a deeply awful way. Yeah. Why are they using slurs for robots anyway? Because fuck them clankers. That's what I'm saying. I just don't like how people are craving for a slur to say that people will be okay with. I mean, like, it's not... Here's the thing. It's not the same as a racial slur or a gender slur or a slur based on your orientation or anything. Those are based on characteristics. Those are based on literally judging a book by its cover. This is based on something that is immutable. Like there is never going to be a robot that has a soul. Yeah, slurs have historical context too. There's no history. Yeah. It's just a derogatory term. We do not promote robosexuals. Oh, God. They're going to be... Oh, my God. Next 5 years. Look, the AI bubble is about to crash, but the next 5 years, we are going to get people... Remember... God, do you remember the fucking super straight thing that they were annoying as hell about for 20 minutes? Oh, lost the bid for Fire Emblem 3. What do you mean you lost the bid? What? Just buy Fire Emblem 3 houses. It can't be that much cheaper. I mean soul in a like in an abstract sense. Like it's soul in terms of, you know, because like I have my own metaphysical beliefs and stuff, but in more of a frame of referencing what it means to be human in a more abstract sense. MLYP, I wonder where the AI dudes are going to go next. Genuinely want to know. I wouldn't be surprised if they try and get more into the robot stuff. If they try and pivot all of the AI, because like Elon is already trying to get there too. Yeah. They always try to invent these queer parodying terms and movements. I mean, like, I guarantee, in the next couple years, we are going to get people who are trying to legitimately, like, because here's the thing. We talked about this with the AI boom, when I still need to do a stream highlight video on that, because we had a really good conversation about AI and how the corporate elements of AI want to, even amidst tragedy, even amidst people who are, this 10-year-old killed himself because AI told him to. The AI, the fucking corporate mouthpieces that come out are like, yeah, we know that people form a really deep bond with this stuff. And it's because that's the marketing that they're pushing. That, like, the idea of, like, it's God. You can't even go on any porn site anymore without the only thing. Like, it is downright refreshing when you see a video that is like the girl talking to you again and it's not AI. It's like, oh my God, like, holy shit, this is awesome. Because it's not just saying, make your perfect dream girl. AI porn is here, or whatever the fuck. And it's just like, it is the convenience. It's mostly the convenience that is being marketed to you. When will AI bubble burst? I think we're looking at in the next year. But here's the thing. I think it's going to be kind of like the NFT bubble, where it's not going to go away. Like, there are still somehow NFT and crypto psychos out there. Well, so the AI is not going to leave the porn space, unfortunately, because for now, and again, this might change in the next year, hopefully. Because there are massive class action lawsuits from big companies right now against AI. Thank God. But, like, now what they can do is they can train AI on women, on real women. So they can have, here's this AI porn model, but it looks like, fucking Sydney Sweeney. Or it looks like, whoever. But it's not. So they can be like, aha, it's not that, even though it's trained on those people to very intentionally get people to click on that. It's just fucking... I wonder when people will do something against voice cloning. Oh, God, it's so late for that. It's so late for that. Like, I wish people... Like, this is stuff that, again, if we were not already in a... like gerontocracy, like it's stuff that it's straight up transitory. We're actually seeing less deepfakes than I'd have thought, or maybe it's still on the horizon. There are still entire websites out there dedicated to nothing but deepfake porn. And guess what? Since it's gotten easier to make, it's only gotten A, more popular, B, more proliferate. Like, this shit should have been legalized, illegalized, and regulated immediately. Immediately. Yeah, no, unless, like, look, fucking AI, AI is not going to leave. Man, AI needs to be. Like you want to talk about something, if there's one thing that I think that is morally justifiable to fight against, like, tooth and nail, it's AI. Like, it's not even a question to me. Fuck, man. Moth, people, Facebook recently had leaks saying internally they weren't going to stop people from using photos of people's kids. I mean, like, here's the thing. If you have ever posted a video or an image online, you have to assume it is being used for AI learning. There is, you do not sign an NDA, you do not sign, like there are no limits to the amount of small text when you sign up for a fucking social media program or service that just away your rights to your likeness, to all that shit, or to your data. It is so clandestine yet widespread that stuff is not going anywhere. The AI bubble will collapse when OpenAI fails to convert from a non-profit to a for-profit, and all their raised funds convert to debt. And so many key stocks are tied to that. Yeah, the amount of like the thing that everybody's like, yo, this bubble isn't gonna last much longer, is that it has been so fucking inflated. Go look at Palantir stocks. Oh God, I'm so mad at myself. I didn't put $1,000 into Palantir last year. Not that I had it to put in, but because their stocks have raised over 500%, which is a fucking insane like growth. But they don't have like almost none of the AI companies, because it costs so much money, because it takes so much energy, and because it doesn't actually have use cases for the things that people are like, oh, this is the future of movies, this is the future of games. It's like, okay, well, where are the fucking movies and the games? Like everything people post of like, I made the world's first AI animated film, and it's some fucking looks like the deepest pit of hell if Dante Alighieri dreamed in Pixar. MOYP, excuse me, I posted that copy pasta on my wall telling Zuckerberg he had no rights on my images. So everybody except you, you've got it taken care of. What are the chances they ask for a bailout? A lot. But like outside of big companies like Palantir that have direct ties to the government through contracts, like there's so many. CAI is another one. Meta will probably get a, like these massive companies are gonna stay around. Palantir sounds like a shitty name for a fantasy realm. Have I got news for you? Palantir is taken from Lord of the Rings. Like the Palantir of Orthanc. Orthanc. There was another one that Peter Thiel has another company that is also taken from Lord of the Rings. So is it fucking Barad-dûr? What is it? It's not Orthanc. What is it? Is it what they got? It's like Rivendell or some shit. Orb. Andril. Yep, Andril. Yep. Andril. Elvish shit. Andril. Yeah, you're right. Anduril. There's Palantir, Anduril, and Erebor. They made Erebor. Jesus Christ. Like, it's so much more embarrassing that that like they aren't even naming their megacorps like, you know, Teal Corp or some shit. Like all the megacorps in sci-fi and shit. I was just watching Blade Runner last night. And you know, like the Tyrell Corporation, that's a dude's last name. Wayland Yutani. Those are just two last names. Like other ones that are like Omnicorp. Omnicorp, that's just a corporation name. But man. Yeah, whatever happened to Wayland Yutani naming? Building better worlds. But no, we got Tesla. Fucking dumb. Oh, whoa! Thank you so much. How many? What is that? Did somebody just give? I didn't see what that was. Oh, John Bogardus, thank you. Kevin Clack for 1, 2. Holy crap! There's a bunch there. 5 Dead Domain memberships. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Tesla, don't disrespect the name. Japanese Zaibatsus aren't as powerful now. Yeah, it's kind of it's kind of funny. Like I said, I've been reading. I was about to say Snow Crash, but I haven't started Snow Crash. I'm in a weird cyberpunk phase. Don't know why. But I started reading Neuromancer, which is great. But Neuromancer is weird because it's like this reverse Ready Player One, where it has all of the like they have a lot of the same like this is the future type shit. But Ready Player One is just like this super like, isn't it so fucking cool that everything is just empty nostalgia? And Neuromancer is just like, this shit is fucked up. But the funny part about Neuromancer is that it is so culturally relevant, especially to like the cyberpunk subculture and genre, that there are so many things. I think I was talking about this with the stream I was doing with Koa. And there are so many little tiny things that you're like, oh, that the Matrix, like in the hit film The Matrix. Oh, these goggles, like in Ghost in the Shell. Oh, this, like in I think they call it the Sprawl, and that's you know kind of reminiscent of a number of other things. What was the other one? There was one, Night City, and like of course that's fucking Cyberpunk 2077. Have I played Deus Ex? Yeah, I was actually playing through the first Deus Ex. They put the PS2 port out on PS5, and it's pretty fucking good. It's pretty fucking good. The Y2K era was obsessed with East Asians. A lot of bad guys were Hong Kong style tryouts. So I mean, like that comes down to a lot of. So the reason why in things like Blade Runner and Neuromancer, which were in the 80s, is that there was this massive Japanese, not marketing, what's the word I was looking for? Industry boom. Because, and this is actually explained by the hit game Yakuza 0, where post-war Japan, over the next 20 years, there became just massive explosion of Japanese businesses, especially in the tech sector, in the 70s and 80s, and then also lessening of immigration laws allowed more Japanese people to finally emigrate over to America again. And like that is why there was so much social anxiety and economic anxiety about just the, like suddenly it seemed like everybody, like Japanese electronics were fucking everywhere. And now it's just a you know well accepted thing that like, oh yeah, you have a Toshiba, you have a Panasonic, you have a Sony, you have a whatever. But a lot of the time it was played as like it was kind of taken for granted at certain points in the 80s that like, oh no, in 40 years the Japanese are going to own everything, which just kind of goes to show you how fucking stupid how so many like knee-jerk economic and political reactions are, because like you don't know what the fuck else is going to happen. You don't know how things are going to regulate. And it's kind of the same shit that you see with people talking about like China. Well, China has a better whatever. China has a better chance of doing that stuff. But oh no, the Japanese are coming first. Yeah, there's knee-jerk xenophobia. That's one of them. And yeah, huge car manufacturer. There's actually a pretty okay. I'm going to recommend a movie that I haven't seen since I was a kid, so it could be incredibly racist. It might be. But I remember liking it. It was a Michael Keaton comedy called Gung Ho. That is about a struggling small town, like a Rust Belt town, and a Japanese auto manufacturer decides to open up a factory in this small town. And so it's kind of a culture clash. It's kind of a learning to come together movie. I remember it being okay. That being said, it isn't a movie from the 80s, so like mileage is going to vary. Yeah, I again cannot speak to it qualitatively. I haven't seen it since I was just a little baby, just a little baby. But yeah, that's what I kind of think when I think of it, like the Japanese economic boom. That, and of course, Yakuza 0, because those are my like cultural touchdowns. I'm not Japanese. I'm not super familiar with that stuff. But yeah, it's what were we even talking about? How did we get here? We're talking about political upheaval. I don't even know. Damn. Oh. Oh. Oh, Neuromancer, Cyberpunk. There you fucking go. Yeah, no, just talking about why like Asian companies and stuff were so prominently featured as like this is the thing of the future. And you look at then Blade Runner, and then it's just from basic, I mean Neuromancer too, but from Blade Runner and that like just that smoky, foggy street aesthetic, and you know these dark alleyways and noodle shops on the corner and all that stuff. Like those became so synonymous with that style of cyberpunk that, you know, it's a fucking trickle down from there to Cyberpunk 2077, Perfect Dark, like Deus Ex, like all that shit has a lot of that same kind of knee-jerk jingoism, but it's more, I don't know. Having grown up with those kind of staples, I've never really seen them as, you know, unless of course they're resorting to racial stereotypes, which some of them do. Don't get me wrong, but a lot of it just like, I don't know. It seems more aspirationally multicultural than anything. Like the idea of even as capitalism grinds everything to fucking dust, we're still gonna have like good cultural exchange. Still gonna have noodles. Noodles are pretty cool. Like that's kind of always been my, like, I don't know, my reading of it. Orientalism. Yeah, a little bit. Yeah. Neuromancer sounds interesting. I want to read it. It's very good. It's very good. It's yeah, it's just like it's one of those books that you pick up, and like of course first opening is a banger. It's, you know, it's like Kafka or anything else where you're just like, okay, no, I'm in this. I'm locked in. But it is just such a, it's the kind of book, like it's so noir. It's such a like fucking, it reminds me a lot of again Blade Runner, where it is this kind of, it's not really even a detective story, it just has that same like there's a femme fatale, there's this like hard-boiled attitude where the main character is just kind of pissed and cynical about everything all the time, and always watching his back because people are double crossing him and setting him up, and like, and it has a really, it does that so well. It just scrumptious writing. Yeah. And yeah, I say that as having read, I think it's my first Gibson book. Seems like a fine line between Orientalism and Yellow Peril sentiment from the 1800s. I mean, like, yeah, the Yellow Peril stuff is. Hey, would you believe that when immigrants came over to America, to Chinese immigrants mostly, to essentially serve as one thing that's completely overlooked in America's history, by the way, is how Chinese immigrants were basically used as horrible slave labor to build America's railroads, especially through California. And like, would you believe that there was a native, quote unquote, nativist reactionary movement to be like, oh, they're stealing our jobs, they're trying to invade America, they're trying to take all this shit? No, it's God damn it, it's the same shit. It's the same shit. It's the same shit. No, not Mel Gibson. America always does this. Like, why? Oof, oof, oof. I've got bad news. I got good news and bad news. One, good news, it's not just America. Bad news, it's everyone, all the time, for all of history. This is another thing, is that, like, I think, and when I talk about these subjects, by the way, I hope I don't make it sound like I feel I'm so highfalutin, or I feel I'm so enlightened, or anything, or I'm dropping, wisdom upon the rubes. I don't feel that way. I kind of talk about in my latest video, I just read books. I like reading. I like learning things. I like learning history. I like reading classics. Like, that's where a lot of this shit comes from. And then I can sit and think with those ideas and work my way through them. And that's fun for me. That's what I do in my off time. And I think one of the things that you learn when you this I learned when I was really researching the video essay I did on, the documentary I did on anti-Semitism and the history of anti-Semitism, is that, like, it clicked so clearly into place. If you haven't watched that video, go watch it. How all the shit, all the prejudice, the methods, the reasoning, always been the fucking same. There's always been an outsider group that somebody will try and take advantage of, that somebody will try and point out, this is the villain, these are the people you should fear, these are the people you need to go after, these are the people coming for your job, for your children. Like we have records of this dating back to the beginning of human history, of people pointing at an outgroup who are struggling, who need help to survive, who are minding their own fucking business, and being like, these are the people bringing disease. These are the people murdering your livestock. These are the people doing this. And the people pointing it out, wouldn't you fucking believe it, had something to gain by pointing it out. And it's very frustrating, because it's always been like this. And instead of trying to learn from that, or instead of approaching most prejudices through the ideas and the frameworks that of historical context, instead of actually using history as education like we should in a good education system. Let me open this up real quick. We have a special guest who's bringing... No, come here. She does not want to give it up. Oh, come here. Okay, she doesn't want to give it up. Fine. No, do you want? The specialist guest, yeah. Oh yeah. Does that feel good? She's like relaxing as I'm scratching her head, but she just still doesn't want to get rid of her ball. You want to come up here? You want to come on? Yeah, no take, only throw is exactly right. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on, little one. Come on. Oh, gross. That was such a gross squelching sound. I'm so sorry. More like dog domain. Exactly. Exactly. Well, chat, my partner is on their way home. Thank you all for vibing, for chilling tonight. I think this has been actually a really good stream. Even if we just chatted for a while. Didn't do much. I appreciate all of the support with paying for the cat. I appreciate, and again, any donations y'all can give. I know Johnny Viral isn't here. If you go on Twitch, not Twitch, you go on Twitter or Blue Sky, I've been reposting my links because, damn, cat, you were expensive as fuck. And any help you can give on that front is very much appreciated. I'm just glad that she's okay. And now we are at a point, I think I'm going to give her a little bit of wet food tonight, according to doctor's instructions. And then, yeah, tucking her in because she is fucking... she was so high on the ride home. If you're in the Discord server, I posted some pictures in the general chat. But let's go. We haven't said hi to Necosaurus in a minute. Let's go say hi to Surus. Thank you all again one more time. Keep an eye on the channel. I hope to have a new video coming in the next week or so. And in between that, I'm probably going to be doing one more stream highlight video. And yeah, keep an open mind and keep that goodwill flowing. And I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your night. Oh, I need to go, yeah, actually raid first. Okay, yeah, we'll do that. And then we'll get out of here. Thank you all for going raiding. We're about to double Surus's views. So go say hi, go like, subscribe, and have a great